Hi, Tom here from the Run Testers. Today we're going to be looking at the New Balance Fresh Foam 1080 The Fresh Foam 1080 series is New Balance's kind of all-round running shoe designed for cushioning, designed for comfort, designed for long distances. And the 1080 V10 is the latest in that lineup, and it's had a number of updates made to it. It's a neutral shoe, it's got a lot of cushioning. New Balance say it's designed for cutting-edge comfort, premier cushioning, and lightweight flexibility. Is it worth picking a pair up? What are they good for? I'm going to take a look. The Fresh Foam 1080 V10 comes in at about 280 grams for men in a size 8. It'll cost you about £135 or $150, and there's an 8mm drop. In terms of design, you'll notice that in comparison to the previous 1080 models, it actually looks quite a lot different than those versions, and it's something that I quite like. I wasn't a massive fan of the previous 1080 shoes, but I really like this one, and I think there's a lot of nice features and design touches to it that make it a really nice shoe. The sock-like Hypoknit upper is new, and that gives you a kind of cottony sock-like feel, which is kind of reminiscent of the earlier Ultra Boosts and shoes like that. It looks really nice, and yeah, it's a nice addition to the shoe. At the back here, you've got this weird gothic-like heel section. That's a completely new feature, and it's kind of designed to give more sturdiness and more rigidity to the heel section, which is something that people have said in the previous models is a bit of an issue with the heel moving around, but this is designed to kind of fix that. Also makes it easier to pull on and take off. This midsole section is made from New Balance's new Fresh Foam X material, which is designed to be cushioned, but also quite lightweight. Overall, I just think it's a really nice looking shoe, especially this colorway that I've got here. It's far nicer, or for me, far better looking than the previous 1080 models, which I was never really a big fan of. But I really like that design. I think it looks great. The cushioning itself, although it's quite chunky, it's quite subtle in the way it sits in with the design, and yeah, overall there's some really nice little features on this that make it a really attractive looking shoe. In terms of the ride, I've never been a massive fan of the 1080 series. I always found it to be a bit clunky, and I always found that there were little niggles with it that I didn't really like rubs or just things that didn't quite work for me. Having said that, I really like these shoes. I've used them for about 80k now, across all distances, up to half marathon, maybe even a bit further in training runs. And for every run, they're just great. They're just really good all-round running shoe that means you can kind of have a nice, comfortable training run, or the cushioning in the bottom actually allows you to pick up the pace quite a bit. They're not a race shoe, I would say. If your aim is to run half marathon distance, and kind of enjoy the run or feel comfortable throughout without really aiming for a time, they're really good, and they're probably going to do the job for you perfectly. If you're a fast runner or you're after a specific time and you want something lightweight, they're probably a bit too clunky for you. When I've used them for 10Ks and tried to get a good time, I have found them to be a little bit sluggish, and I haven't been able to pick up a faster time with these. But overall, if you're looking for a nice, comfortable shoe that'll cover you for every distance, they're really great. That Hypoknit upper is really comfortable. It's nice to wear from day one. You just put them on and they feel like you're wearing a pair of socks. In terms of the fit, they're true to size, so I'm a size 8. These are a size 8, feels perfect. But what I did notice is that I did occasionally see my toes pushing out. through the material here. If that was a more rigid material, that would be a problem because it would rub. But with these, it just, because it's sock-like, it's essentially a sock. So your toes might push out a bit, but it doesn't make any difference. So yeah, they were really comfortable to wear. And that upper is just really nice. And it also feels quite breathable. At 208 grams, they're not a particularly light shoe. But then again, they're not really a heavy shoe. And that's where they sit. So for what you get out of these, nice level of cushioning, comfort, 200 grams isn't particularly that much. And they are a fairly quick shoe in terms of all-round options where you can wear them for training and for racing. So 200 grams isn't that much, and they don't feel that heavy when they're on, unless you're really picking up the pace. So if you're trying to run a 10K really fast, you might actually feel that these suddenly start to become a little bit slower. But overall, they're a great shoe, and you can do quite a lot of stuff in them. On the outsole, you've got a covering, an additional covering of rubber, which actually works really well. So after 80K, these are actually showing very little signs of wear and tear. So they're probably going to last you for a while. They're a pretty durable looking shoe. I'd probably say around 500 miles. So well worth looking at if you're looking for a shoe that's going to last you for a good while. Overall, I'm a massive fan of these, which I'm surprised about because I was never a fan of the previous 1080s. I think it's a really good all-round shoe for anything from short distance runs to long distance training runs and even marathons. If you're looking for comfort and cushioning over lightweight and speed. If you're looking for those, it's probably going to be a little bit too chunky and a little bit too slow for you. But if you're looking for one pair of shoes that will cover you for everything, it's a great option, and there's really nothing that I didn't like about these. The design is also probably the best I've seen. I didn't like the design of the original 1080s or the previous 1080s. I really like this, and there's a really nice range of colourways that New Balance has released with the shoe. So well worth having a look at those because there's some really nice options, and it just is a great looking shoe. Other options would be something like the Saucony Triumph 17, Hoka Clifton maybe, or even the New Balance Beacon, which is the significantly cheaper version, or cheaper option from New Balance, which is quite similar in a lot of ways to this shoe. You could also get the Adidas Ultra Boost, and any of those really up into the Ultra Boost 20. It's a very similar shoe. I would say that this is actually, for me, I think this is a better running shoe because I like that responsive firmness. But the Ultra Boost is also a very good shoe as well. And it's a little bit softer. That boost cushioning is, if you like that, it's probably going to be what you're looking for as opposed to this, which is a bit harder. That's all from me. Don't forget to like and subscribe.